Ms. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Cordray?
Here.
Mr. Roddy? Mr. Souza?
Here. All right, if you'll please stand for the pledge. All right, pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that, I will go ahead and kick this meeting over to Mr. Senners, just to kind of explain as far as the motions were
So
concerned.
you guys, we've been in contact with you as we move forward. We've had a couple staff meetings regarding kind of protocol leading up, and then Governor DeWine made his announcement for a 30-day, on the schools or 3 weeks of schools and that kind of stuff. So that generated more conversations. Deerfield went to minimal staffing yesterday. I think Lebanon, Blue Ash, some other places, Mason's looking at. So anyway, I'll kind of kick it over to Chief Reese if he wants to do just a general overview of what's going on, and then I'll go through kind of our mitigations if you want to move forward.
So over the last 3 days, with today being the last day, our medical advisor's been out and training with our people and updating on what's going on. At the end of today, Captain Goodpasture and I will be sitting down and setting out guidelines for our people. Again, officially, there's nothing in this area as of yet. I think the way everyone is predicting is that it's probably going to go across the nation kind of thing with responses from you have cold-like symptoms to, unfortunately, it's the very old who are affected the most out of this illness. So we're laying in stores right now. There's so much stuff that's back ordered. We've got a short supply. We do have some ability to handle initially, and hopefully through state and local resources, we may be able to get some additional resources out of stockpiles throughout the state. And again, it's just information overload coming in from federal, state, and fire resources, EMS resources, and we're just trying to compile everything and come up with just like a focused response for Hamilton Township. Any questions?
The big fear that we talked about was kind of putting too much pressure on the medical facilities. Can you talk to that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So with everything that's been going on, some people kind of roll their eyes and like, oh, this is overkill, blah, blah, blah. And I think I get the information I keep getting, the charts that they show is that if you look at countries like Italy and Germany who have open borders and didn't do a whole lot to stem the illness, they had these, their initial diagnosis of people with coronavirus went from here to here real quick. And those types of things overwhelm your medical facilities. There's only so many hospital beds, there's only so many respirators, these are finite numbers. And what the government is trying to do, in my opinion, is to flatten that peak out. Like, we're still going to see it, it's still going to work its way through the country and everything, but we want it to be a slow, gradual rise as opposed to a sharp peak, which just overwhelms all the services. And that's why things like this may seem like overkill, but the things that we're putting in here and that's going on throughout the area as far as local governments minimizing their contact and that kind of thing helps keep your first responders, both police and fire, in a position that we can actually make responses, and we're not losing people to illness in rapid sequence.
Has there been any discussion in an event like this would they require any kind of mandatory testing of first responders, or only if someone felt sick?
It's because of the newness of it, and I think the limitation on the numbers of tests available. You have to meet the criteria before they give you a test.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
So with that, if you guys, we've kind of discussed in different conversations, if you want to drop the minimal staffing, we've met on how we would make that work. So I'm just going to kind of go through my checklist. The assistant administrator position for Kenny would be pushed to a higher date of April 6th. if you guys approved it at your next meeting. Testerman Park will remain open, but we would be closing, or extending, opening the public bathroom. So they've been closed all winter. We would extend that by 1 week to open one April 6th. Mountain Mark Park, we would extend the opening of that till April 6th. The mowing for those parks would all be accomplished on April 6th when they opened. Kenny's guys would come in, and that would be our first job. They'd all hit mowers and get all the parks done on the first day. The baseball organizations, Mark, we kind of spoke about this. They responsibly, they should cancel their events. If we cancel them, there's a potential liability of them claiming, lost wages or damages or anything like that. So we will keep the parks open. If likely, or they already have closed their practices, games, things of that nature, so they'll make those up on the back end. So they're still going to be using those fields, tearing them up, just kind of twice in one day instead of once in one day in the future. So we wouldn't prorate or refund those field fees, because we'd essentially just be pushed it 1 week. So that's kind of the idea that we have right now. Zoning and BZA meetings, we don't have any scheduled until April 9th anyway, so those wouldn't be affected. Trustee meetings will remain the same date, place, and time. To ensure transparency, we would encourage people don't attend for obvious reasons. Assuming that doesn't happen, we would not want to get in this practice for the future, but we would Facebook Live the meetings, which would essentially be Kenny here with a cell phone, just so people can see that real time. We're working with IT to make sure that videos get uploaded within 24 hours, where normally now we upload both of them following the second meeting of the month. We would do immediately following, within 24 hours to be posted. We would accept public comments through emails to me. So if it's an appropriate public comment, I'll say it or we'll discuss it that way. Again, this is just all trying to keep it as less contact with public, but still make sure the process continues. And the meetings would still be open to public. We're not going to not allow people in. Events up until April 6th will be canceled. So the Easter egg hunt will be canceled. The comprehensive plan open house will be rescheduled until a later date in April, which Alex is working on Stan right now anyway to do that. And then the fire station open house will be, its initial, whenever it gets scheduled, will be after this date, which we assume it'll be after that date anyway, so that shouldn't be affected. We will be requesting to push the audit until at least April 6th, which we haven't heard a word that they're scheduled anyway, so we assume it's going to be in April anyway, so that shouldn't be affected. Meeting minutes will have no disruption in there. Lindsay will be doing those remote. Bills, those won't be interrupted at all. We'll have all the department heads will get the bills to Ellen by Monday. She'll process them on Tuesday. They'll be ready for your meetings on every other Wednesday. Nothing will change there. Payroll would not be disrupted. All these things we've been prepared for. Last year during the winter storms, we had everyone get remote access on their personal laptops or work laptops. So this isn't new to us. We've all worked remotely. We've never all done it at the same time, but we've kind of ran through every scenario, and there really shouldn't be any disruptions. So that was payroll. Zoning applications, those would be dropped. We'll have a drop box in the police side. They'll drop them in the box with their application and a check made out for the exact amount of fees. Amy would collect those just to ensure the safety of having money in the drop box. And every Wednesday, Lindsay and Alex will come in to process them. We're going to be coming in to work. We can't stay out of this building. There's going to be times where we're going to have to pop in and do things. It'll just be limited. We have one HOA meeting scheduled here, and we're going to refund them their money for the meeting room, and they'll have to relocate that. Our admin lobby will remain open, so people get to the police side. However, the public bathrooms will not be open. I'm talking with just different administrators there. Public restrooms are all being looted for toilet paper right now. So, that's a real thing, unfortunately. Of course, if circumstances change, Monday it's cleared, or Wednesday or Friday, whenever, we would all just show right back up, pick up business as usual. April 6th rolls around and it's still just as bad or worse, I think we probably have a much bigger issue we'll be calling another meeting about. So right now, we just kind of want to follow the governor's time frame if you guys are wanting to move on this. Investment update, obviously our investments are going to take a hit. Without question, I gave you an investment note from Red Tree that's on your desk if you have any questions there, and I included Ryan and Jen's number so you can get a hold of them. And then after discussion and a vote, we will need to go into executive session under ORC 121.22G6 to discuss security arrangements and emergency protocol. That's what I got.
Brent, can I
Yes, sir.
just want to add a couple things to that. Just sitting here while he was going through that, I just updated and checked. Blue Ash, Mason, Deerfield Township, Springboro, and Loveland have all in some way, shape, or form implemented some type of arrangement to where they're going to either limited staffing. They're all basically encouraging folks not to come to the building, to use email, phone call, conversations. Mason, for example, they're it looks like they've eliminated anything that would cause a group to gather. They've all gone on there, basically said, hey, look, we're going to limit group activities.
Clear Creek has also closed all their fire stations, anything but emergent situations,
So it seems to be a trend that's
Yeah. And on your page in front of you here, this will be the public notice that would go out. They're more specific, such as police aren't going to be doing fingerprinting or background checks. No tours of our police department or fire department. Kenny's not going to be calling us. If somebody knocks down a sign, public works is going to come in and fix the sign and go home. If there's a pothole, they'll come in and fix the pothole and go home. But if somebody needs a limb picked up, probably not going to happen. Well, it's not going to happen. So we have, Kenny's in yellows because he's running wire at the fire station. That job has to get done. We're not going to stop working. It's just
We're identifying essential tasks.
Yeah, yep. And so we've roundtabled this to death on what exactly those essential tasks are.
A couple rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Is this affecting any other hiring that's in process? I'm thinking police positions. You mentioned specifically Kenny's, but we were posting for our seasonal park workers and we need them at the beginning of April, so how's that work?
We could push to April 6th.
The hire date would be pushed to April 6th. I will still be coming in the office, obviously, for payroll and various reasons, so as applications come in, we can discuss phone interviews.
It's not sitting, you're still moving forward with people you'd identified in your process?
right.
Okay. And then, I know the Easter egg hunt is a huge gathering, and we need volunteer resources, but to the point of in a week or 2 weeks, this high-level situation, I kind of hate the idea of kiboshing it today, and in a week or two, is there a way we can be flexible on?
We discussed that,
That event.
a couple things with it. We know that we're gonna keep on with the essential tasks, but once this does lift and we come back, we're gonna be backed up with some work, and we don't want the first thing that we have to walk into is putting on a big event. And we think it's responsible to either follow the governor's timeline or not.
I mean, I
Not
get
pick
that
and
would be
choose.
1,000 people
Yeah,
not following social distancing in
and
the
we
small.
checked.
But what's your guys' thoughts on it?
I think if the schools are out, we should kind of follow the timeline of the schools. So if the schools aren't gathering students, we probably shouldn't be having any events that attract kids.
And as silly as this part of it is, because we did try to just check everything, we checked the shelf life on all the candy that's in the eggs, and it's all 2 years. So it wouldn't be wasted.
I mean, could we look at maybe, I don't know who would attend an egg hunt after Easter, but I mean, an opportunity or a way to
I
not
get what you're saying.
kill it.
And I understand, but I think, again, there's a parameter in place of April
Right.
6th. It just
Like,
falls.
yeah, with everybody's kind of date.
And then to try to turn that thing around quickly, I think
Right.
it
I
would be
get
worse. It'll backfire.
All right.
And
that's my-
if you also have the potential of, we do put on a successful egg hunt, and all the parents are like, my kid's not going to a public
Yeah, I
event
get it.
right
I get it.
now.
There's- I get it
School's
too.
closed.
Right, I mean, attendance could be well down. I'm just thinking about
Yeah.
um,
No, I mean, none of this has been an easy decision.
right.
And we discussed the, kind of the PR side of it, or the political side of it. We know we're gonna have people upset. I talked with Eric about this, and he said, oh, yeah, with the very fiscal conservative group that's gonna be upset with this. He said, but quite frankly, if something did happen and we didn't have anything in place, then that's a real issue versus just a little people
No,
upset, so.
I mean, the overwhelming presence of everything I see is everyone being overcautious at this point and not wanting to, heaven forbid, someone gets sick in their organization or cause issues, so I get it.
My only question is to both chiefs, how is this gonna affect response times or the ability to perform your job? Any?
Executive. Yeah. Well, we're gonna cover quite a bit in executive session with emergency response.
And then I just, for Kenny, so my understanding, we're gonna go down, their public works is gonna be on an as-needed basis, basically?
Yep.
So, I mean, if there's a road emergency or something like that, or we have a bird or something, but we're not gonna be necessarily like 8 hours a day, day to day going.
Yep, everyone will be on call. Anybody, if they are sick, even though they're sitting at home, they're taking a sick day for it. If they're already scheduled for a vacation, they're taking vacation and they're not callable that day. That's how we're playing it. Another factor that we are considering is for emergency services is childcare, because they now have their school-age children at home for 3 weeks that they didn't plan for, and we are going to provide leniency to our employees with just working with them on a case-to-case basis if needed.
And just a comment I'll throw out that's a tangent too, but just for the public record, talking of our investments, we're not risking principal dollars, we're gonna make less interest on our investments in a short period of time. And so, just so the public, no one is thinking that we're risking seeing principal dollars be lost, we're just gonna see a significant reduction in interest income for a period of time.
And I've been talking with Eric Reiner, I will be packaging every hour that we lost and sending it to the state at the end of this for reimbursement. Doubt we'll get anything, but we're gonna try, because this was a declared a state emergency, and we're taking actions based on that. To include the community event, we'll put parameters around all that and send in for reimbursement.
State's got a rainy day fund, right? Doesn't hurt to try.
Right.
This is a rainy day.
So, we'll get.
Well, and I think too, actually, I read before we started the meeting that actually Trump's gonna announce and declare a national emergency, which is, I think, gonna invoke the Stanford Act, which I think is gonna free up some emergency dollars for state and municipalities as well. So,
Any other questions for us? Ellen came in on our off day. I really appreciate you doing that too, just to make sure we could answer any questions you guys had of how we would make it work.
Are you able to comfortably handle the financial
Oh,
paying
yeah,
the bills
because
and
I'll
the
come in,
core
I'll
stuff?
still
Okay.
come in.
And you can work remotely with all that stuff as well?
Yes.
Perfect.
Alex had an appointment he couldn't miss, well, personal appointment. We've gone through every angle of his. We still have plenty of meetings at the county, unless the county shuts down. But right now, we're getting a lot of cancellations on meetings from other jurisdictions. The ones that aren't canceling, we'll still be going to those meetings. To include this Monday, Alex and I have one at the county. Like, we're not gonna be missing anything. So we'll be still doing that, and Alex even has meetings with developers off-site. He's still gonna be going to those. So it's just, we're limiting our exposure as much as possible.
do we have a policy in place at all for like, our employees with regards to flights at this point? Flights?
We do not.
I think that we just follow any high-level travel bans or restrictions that are in place.
Well, I bring it up only because like my company, we've instituted like no flying at all for private or for company
I
wide.
think
We usually don't have any staff flying for township-related business,
For
correct?
township related, I wouldn't put them on a plane, but for personal reasons, I think we could get in liability if we
Yeah.
restricted that.
Well, our company isn't restricting that, but what they're putting in place is that if you're gonna fly on personal, that's fine, but then you have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks when you return. And
I
work
couldn't do that
remotely.
either, because I mean, the chief flies for his personal training that he does. I couldn't require that he not fly. You know, he takes his appropriate vacation time to do that.
Well, I think you're just saying that a precaution that if, you know,
Yeah,
somebody
we'll
went
put out
somewhere
a-
that was a high-risk area and came back, we may
Right.
not put them
Not
right
Don't
back.
teach in Italy.
Not
Yeah,
going to
I
Europe.
mean, just in general, yeah, we'll put out.
If you go to Seattle, you come back, you might wanna
Yeah.
stay at home for a
Yeah.
couple days. I don't have any other questions.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
If you just read it exactly.
All right, in the efforts to follow the direction of Governor Mike DeWine to reduce and mitigate the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus by reducing Hamilton Township personnel to essential personnel only with proper protocols implemented to ensure township services are still produced until April 6, 2020.
Second?
Mr. Cordray?
Yes.
Mr. Razi?
Yes.
Mr. Susak?
Yes.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and make a motion to enter into executive session under ORC 121.22, section G, subsection 6, details relative to security arrangements and emergency protocol for a public office.
Second?
Mr. Cordray?
Yes.
Mr. Razi?
Yes.
Mr. Susak?
Yes.
Make a motion to come out of executive session at 12:46 p.m.
Second?
Mr. Cordray?
Yes.
Mr. Razi?
Yes.
Mr. Susak?
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn at 12:46 p.m.
Second?
Mr. Cordray?
Yes.
Mr. Razi?
Yes.
Mr. Susak?
Yes.